$500 billion for trade schools, a game changer in education. Imagine this, a world where your path to a successful career doesn't necessarily involve a 4-year college degree. Thanks to a significant policy change, that world is now a reality for many aspiring professionals. The recent One Big Beautiful Bill, signed by President Donald Trump, has opened up a new avenue for funding trade schools, and it's a game changer for those considering careers in welding, HVAC, carpentry, and more. But here's where it gets controversial. The change to 529 savings plans now allows these accounts to be used for a broader range of post-high school credentials, including certifications in specialties like auto mechanics or food safety, and related expenses. This means the estimated $500 billion in 529 plans can now be used to pay for trade school and even tools in some cases. Money can also be used now for ongoing certification or retraining, as long as it comes from an accredited program. Law students can also use the money to pay for the bar exam, and other professions can similarly use the funds for certification tests. Higher education consultants interviewed by the New York Times were generally optimistic about the new policy. The route to a successful career does not have to take you through college, Andrea Fierstein told the Times. She has spent decades consulting on 529 accounts, savings plans, and public finance in general. The new policy also recognizes an important fact of life. Parents do not know what careers their kids will pursue when they are young, and are considering whether to open up a 529 plan. It seems plausible the change, once more people learn about it, could lead to an increase in savings in these accounts. This is because parents may have been wary in the past to tie up money in the accounts, fearing their children might not use it if they ended up going to trade school. Now there is more flexibility and a recognition in law that college is not the only way to success, as Fierstein pointed out to the New York Times. Furthermore, no one knows what higher education will look like in 15 or 20 years. It is possible young adults will pursue a mixture of certifications and on-the-job training instead of college. It is possible higher education will face a reckoning due to declining enrollment and political pressure, and refocus itself on exploring the truth and promoting open debate. Any number of things could happen with education in the coming decades, which no one can predict with perfect accuracy. Thankfully then, parents and students will now have the flexibility they need to pursue the best path for their own goals and interests. And this is the part most people miss. The flexibility in 529 plans now allows for a more personalized approach to education, recognizing that not everyone's path to success is the same. This shift could lead to a more diverse and skilled workforce, as individuals are empowered to choose the educational path that best suits their talents and aspirations. But what do you think? Do you believe this policy change will lead to a more equitable educational landscape? Or do you have concerns about the potential drawbacks? Let us know in the comments below. 2025 529 plan changes. How Gen Z can invest in careers, not just college. New rules. Imagine a world where saving for education isn't confined to just college tuition anymore, where your 529 plan can open doors to a wide range of career paths and learning opportunities beyond the traditional classroom. This is now a reality, thanks to major legislative updates effective in July 2025, with the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, OBBBA. These groundbreaking changes have revolutionized 529 savings plans, expanding their scope far beyond their original purpose. Traditionally, a 529 plan was designed as a tax-advantaged savings vehicle mainly to cover college expenses like tuition, room, and board. However, with the recent updates, these funds can now be tapped for a much broader variety of educational experiences and related costs. And here's where it gets really interesting. The shift responds to a major cultural trend among Gen Z. Unlike previous generations who viewed a 4-year college degree as the default path, many Gen Z individuals are increasingly opting for trade skills, certifications, or careers in the growing creator economy, all while aiming to avoid the burdens of student loan debt. Let's break down the key aspects of these changes, which might change how you think about saving and investing in education. 1. Extensive coverage of K-12 expenses. Whereas previously, 529 plans could only be used for tuition up to $10,000 per year for K-12 education. Now they cover a broader range of costs. This includes books, digital learning tools, crucial testing fees like the SAT or ACT, dual enrollment at higher education institutions, tutoring by qualified instructors, and even educational therapies for students with disabilities. By January 1st, 2026, the annual limit for all K-12 expenses will increase to $20,000, doubling the spending power. 2. Support beyond traditional colleges. Post-secondary use cases have expanded drastically. It's not just about universities anymore. Funds can cover costs for adults returning to school, career changers pursuing certifications, professional licenses, registered apprenticeship programs, and continuing education courses in practical fields such as automotive technology or food safety management. Eligible credentials even encompass those recognized by federal programs and military training. 3. Innovative rollover options to Roth IRAs. Thanks to the Secure 2.0 Act, effective since 2024, families can roll over as much as $35,000 of unused 529 funds into a Roth IRA belonging to the beneficiary. This mechanism, subject to Roth IRA contribution limits and certain requirements, like the 529 account being open for at least 15 years, provides a safeguard against losing money if educational expenses aren't as high as anticipated. 4. Added flexibility and usability. Beyond tuition and books, 529 funds can also be applied to eligible student loan repayments within set limits. They can be used for education at public, private, or religious institutions and support a wide spectrum of personal development and educational pursuits, making the plan incredibly versatile. The implications of these changes are profound. No longer are 529 plans just college savings accounts. They have become all-encompassing educational investment tools that align with today's diverse learning pathways and career upgrades. Families now gain greater confidence knowing their savings can adapt to the unique educational and professional journeys of their children and themselves. However, a word of caution. Although the expanded rules unlock exciting new possibilities, nuances around eligible expenses, contribution caps, rollover conditions, and state-specific regulations still exist. It's crucial to consult with tax experts or financial advisors to navigate these details and maximize benefits. Also, some parts of the expansion are still being finalized at the regulatory level as of mid-2025. So staying informed about upcoming clarifications is wise. In short, 529 plans have evolved from narrowly focused college savings vehicles into powerful, flexible tools capable of funding a wide array of educational and career development goals. These legislative shifts represent an important acknowledgement of changing educational trends and provide American families with more robust ways to support lifelong learning and career growth. But here's the part most people miss. Do these changes signal the end of the traditional college degree as the gold standard? Or are we simply recognizing that education is far more diverse than ever before? What do you think? Are these developments a much-needed adaptation or a risky shift away from tried and true educational investing? Share your thoughts. Top 5 must-know facts about the 529 College Savings Plan in 2024. Imagine this. You've been diligently saving for your child's education, only to find out that the rules of the game have changed. Welcome to the ever-evolving landscape of 529 education savings plans. Since their inception over 2 decades ago, these plans have been a beacon of hope for families aiming to make higher education more accessible through smart, tax-advantaged investing. But here's where it gets controversial. As the use cases for 529 plans have expanded, so have the complexities and opportunities. Let's dive into the key trends shaping the 529 savings plan landscape in 2024. In this annual deep dive, we're keeping a close eye on the metrics that matter most to investors: assets, fees, and more. Buckle up as we explore the latest developments and what they mean for your savings strategy. 1. A record-breaking year for 529 industry assets. Investors' assets in 529 plans hit an unprecedented high of $492.9 billion in 2024, marking an 11.6% increase from the previous year. This surge can be attributed to a combination of factors: sustained investor interest, a booming stock market, and higher interest rates that benefited cash and equivalents, crucial components of portfolios nearing or in the college enrollment phase. And this is the part most people miss. The expanded use cases, such as K-12 education, student loan repayment, and apprenticeships, have also drawn more savers to these plans. 2. The Big Three. Industry concentration remains high. The 529 plan industry is dominated by a few heavyweights: Vanguard, Capital Group, Argent, Sports, and more. And TIAA-CREF collectively manage over half of the total assets. In a surprising twist, TIAA-CREF overtook Fidelity in 2024, solidifying its position as one of the top managers. But why does this matter? Industry concentration can influence everything from fees to investment options, so it's crucial to understand who's calling the shots. 3. Simplifying the savings journey. Gone are the days of confusing investment choices. Over 80% of 529 plans now offer a single glide path, making it easier for investors to navigate their savings journey. But here's a thought-provoking question. Is simplicity always better? Some plans still provide expanded choices, catering to investors who prefer a more hands-on approach. What's your take on this trade-off between simplicity and choice? 4. The rise of progressive glide paths. Progressive glide paths are gaining traction, now accounting for 43% of plans. Unlike traditional stepwise designs, these paths offer a smoother transition to a more conservative portfolio as the beneficiary approaches college age. But are they always the best choice? Some progressive paths can still appear steep, so it's essential to weigh the pros and cons. 5. The cost advantage of direct sold plans. Direct sold plans continue to outshine their advisor-sold counterparts in terms of affordability, with an average fee of 0.31%. But here's the catch. While direct sold plans are generally cheaper, they may not always offer the same level of personalized advice. So, is the cost savings worth the potential lack of guidance? That's a question worth pondering. The battle for market share. Vanguard versus the rest. Vanguard remains the most popular 529 plan provider, thanks to its low-cost funds and strong reputation. But the competition is fierce, with Capital Group and TIAA-CREF hot on its heels. And this is where it gets interesting. While Vanguard and Capital Group have maintained their top spots, TIAA-CREF has made significant strides, surpassing Fidelity in recent years. But why the shift? TIAA-CREF's focus on lower costs and dedicated 529 team has proven appealing to states and investors alike. The future of 529 plan management The 529 plan industry has seen relatively few changes in asset management in recent years. However, 2025 is shaping up to be a more active year, with several high-profile takeovers and transitions on the horizon. But what does this mean for investors? Stay tuned, as these changes could impact fees, investment options, and more. The hands-off approach. Most 529 plans do the heavy lifting. Many 529 account holders prefer a set-it-and-forget-it approach, utilizing age-based or target enrollment portfolios. These portfolios automatically adjust the asset allocation as the beneficiary grows older, shifting from risky assets like stocks to more conservative options like bonds and cash. But here's a controversial interpretation. Could this hands-off approach be too simplistic? Some investors might benefit from a more tailored strategy, taking into account their unique risk tolerance and financial goals. The fees are falling, and that's a good thing. Over the past few years, 529 plans have significantly reduced their fees, making education savings more affordable than ever. In 2024, the average fee for age-based and target enrollment portfolios held steady at 0.46%. But here's the kicker. While direct sold plans remain nearly 50 basis points cheaper than their advisor-sold counterparts, the pace of fee compression has slowed. So, is the era of low-cost 529 plans coming to an end? Only time will tell. Now it's your turn to weigh in. Do you prefer a hands-off approach to 529 savings, or do you like having more control over your investments? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's spark a lively debate.